Hi, this is Slater with GuildLaunch, and today I'm going to give a quick tutorial on the recruiting features on GuildLaunch. These are mostly for site owners, so if you go to the admin section, just by clicking the little admin link up here, and go to the recruiting section, we have 5 things that we're going to discuss today. I'm not really going to discuss viewing the applications, but just the features for actually getting recruits. We have, first of all, just the flag of whether or not you're recruiting, and the default is set to the fact that you are. When you go to the site, all that really changes is this link right here, and the section links. So if you go back to it, and you change it to we're not recruiting, then just that link on the front page is gone. And some people don't want it because they don't want it visible to everyone. Some people want to hard link it into the navigation section. Whatever reason you have for deactivating it is reasonable. And even if you deactivate it, people can still get to the application by going to this page, so you can get the URL and set it to whatever you'd like. We'll go ahead and set this back to recruiting for the time being. The second is the actual guild application, and the default setting is this. This is just basic mode. You type, it produces what they're supposed to respond to. I favor the advanced application. You can set instructions for what you want people to do. In this case, please answer all questions to the fullest of your abilities. Okay, thanks. Add instructions, then this will be at the top of the application. Then we have the actual questions. We have anything from the text box, true and false fields, yes and no, and we even have a drop-down field, and we just recently implemented multi-select, so if you want to have a question of, say, which MMOs are you playing, then you can say Swatter. Each of these answers has to be set off by a comma. So Swatter, World of Warcraft, Minecraft, all of the games ever made. And if you add it like this, you have to check the multi-select box for it to multi-select. This way it'll just be a drop-down. So you'll pick one, but you can edit the question to make it multi-select. And then they can click either one or more, or hold control and click more than one. Select all of them. You can also set a question to be required. The main thing for this is if you have a question that's required and the system knows it, then when someone doesn't answer that question and tries to send the application, it'll kick back and let them know that they haven't answered this question. So, go ahead and true or false. This site is awesome. That is also required. And you can move around any of the questions in the advanced menu just by hovering over here, the lines icon, and it's just simple drag and drop. If you don't like a question, you can either edit it, as I showed you before, or delete it entirely. Alright. Recruiting. The next thing is your recruiting advertisement. This is what's going to show up on the guild life. So you can set a brief description of your guild. We'll go with, this is Slater's site of awesome, and I misspelled awesome. That's fantastic. This is Slater's site of awesome and win, and you can set what type of guild you are. I know some people, like my brother for example, is a huge PvPer, and he's very competitive and he likes to level. And so he would probably check it something like this, and he'd say, I can raid Tuesdays and Thursdays, or that my guild raids Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to whenever we're done. And you can also go through talking about what loot distribution system you use. A lot of people use DKP or the loot council, but if you're just doing dungeons, a lot of people do just standard rolling as well. And you can say what kinds of events you do. If you're hardcore raiding guild in WoW, you can check 25 mans or 10 mans. If you're playing SWATer, you're probably going to do the 16 man ops. For my playstyle, it would be more social, role-playing, crafting. I don't raid. And so you can just change these with simple, and these are live updates. Whatever I'm clicking is going to show up in the guild life as just a live update. I'll roll for it. And what that looks like, you can go to your user profile and go to the guild life right here. And when you go to find a site, this is how people find it. They can either find it by your name. My guild site's name is Test Site of Awesome and Win. And there's my guild site. Or, if they're not looking for your site specifically, then they can choose their game. In this case, the site's for SWATer. So they're playing on it. I'm playing on a Darival, and they can say, search for a role-playing guild that likes to craft and is social, likes to roll on things. Then when they find a site, you can see that we have my site's on top because it fills all of the requirements of that, and then other appropriate guilds, here is the Republic, the Dark Side, also show up. And so now we will go back to the guild site for the rest of this. The next thing is the launch code, and this is for people you don't want to have to go through the application process. If you're trying to get your officers in, then all they have to do is make a GuildLaunch account and then put in whatever launch code you set. So for my site, I'm going to set my launch code as GL Slater is awesome. I use awesome too much. GL Slater is the best. That's not a plug. Yeah, it is. But all you have to do is update it, and then when they go to the application, they will have an option to put in launch code. When they put that in, they'll skip the application process entirely. The last thing is just to configure whether or not it posts to a forum. The default is to not post it to a forum at all, but I know that a lot of officers and a lot of site owners like to be able to post it so they can discuss whether or not to accept that application. So we'll go ahead and set this to officer discussion, and any forum that you have set up in the forums tab right here will show up in there, and you can have it whether or not it posts privately or whether it just whether you allow them to post it or not. And that is the quick rundown with the recruiting section. If you have any questions, post on the support forums at support.guildlaunch.com or shoot me an email at support@guildlaunch.com, and I can answer any questions that you have. Thank you.